How are you doing, everybody? Did you see that pause there? Terri Hardin, Walt Disney's legendary Imagineer here. And if you're joining us for the first time today, welcome on YouTube and Facebook. Also, this is my Ask Me Anything. I do these every Friday whenever possible. I won't say that it's nonstop every Friday. Sometimes Friday gets gobbled in the mix and I can't do it. But most of the time, I'd say 99.9% of the time, I am here and I'm here to answer all your questions. As you may have noticed in the thumbnail and the little blurb underneath, you can ask me about anything. My career is vast. I started making money at the age of 8 as an artist, and I haven't stopped. So if you're one of those artists that's heard your parents say, or you're one of those people that says your dream is not so great because you don't make money at it, et cetera, and you need that little pep talk, feel free to ask me here. You'll notice I'm also got this wild hair. That's because I'm mixed races, half black, half white, which makes me very much in the news, not Terri in the news, but people who are mixed, people of color who are mixed. So if you have questions about that as well, feel free to chat with me about it. Anything. Did Ghostbusters, Men in Black. I've been a Muppeteer since 1989 officially. Met Jim Henson in 82. I've done things like Captain EO. I've worked with people like Dolly Parton. I've had sit-down chats with people like Sidney Poitier and Eli Wallach and Dick Van Dyke, Julie Andrews. So lots of things you can ask me. You can quickly Google me and then ask questions. I even have a Wikipedia page. So feel free to ask me whatever you want. If I think it's appropriate, I will tell you. But most of the time, you guys are so great about your questions and stuff. But I open with a couple of announcements simply because I want to be of service to you. So today I wanted to talk about the fact that Disneyland has made the decision. That's Disneyland, California, which is where I live. Disneyland, California has made the decision that they are not going to expand capacity. This was a surprise to me because I've always thought that, you know, especially after the announcement of pass holders not spending enough to give shareholders who have stock in Disney a good return on investment or ROI, suddenly are not going to open capacity at Disneyland and they could make money. I was just a little bit taken aback by that. But for those of you who are going, this is a cool thing. Still means the park's not going to be overcrowded. You can still have a lot of fun. I found out from many of you that you can book for July, and I don't think, let me say that again with conviction, I'm not going to go to the party this year. So I'm going to lean on you, those of you guys who go to the July 17th party for Disneyland. I'm going to be peeking in at you like Todd Regan of Mice Chat. He'll be going and he'll be doing something spectacular. I'm sure he always does. And many of you, though, through your eyes, if you have a camera and you go live on Facebook, please tag me so that I can watch you or let me know. And the same if you have a YouTube channel and you happen to be in Disneyland for the birthday, because I'm going to stay home. And the reason I'm staying home is because of limited capacity. It was one thing when I had a pass and I could go, I had the right to go anytime I wanted, right? And I could pop over on the birthday, and it didn't, it actually enhanced the people who went because it wasn't such a high commodity. You know, once they're gone, they're gone. And on the birthday, there was always space for more people. The time when Disneyland really gets locked up is Christmas, the week between Christmas and New Year's. And I had the pass that didn't allow me to go there because I would never go there during that time. I live very close to Disneyland. I am an Imagineer, so I live in the circle of Disney, if you will. Don't have to travel too far in any direction to hit something Disney. Of course, that's kind of true of everybody, isn't it? But anyway, so yeah, so Disney announced that they weren't gonna, Orange County went into the yellow tier on the 19th of May, which was this month, obviously. And they made this announcement they weren't going to expand admittance. So there you go. That kind of sounds, I don't know, sounds cool to me. But I wanted to make sure you knew that. But they are actually going into July right now. I guess they started selling tickets on the 18th. I think one of my tribe, and the tribe, of course, is Patreon. So I have a Patreon page. For those of you who have been with me, you go, yeah, duh. Uh, but you can go here if you want to be a part of it. We have a private Facebook page that we chat with all the time, help each other with all kinds of things. And then we have a Zoom call every Wednesday. That's just me and the tribe. And we had a great time on Wednesday on the Zoom call. And I was grateful for that because I've lost someone very close to me and it's been a hell of a month. Has the month been a hell of a month for you? And were you surprised? I sure was. I thought April was my rough month. May decided to come in like a lion and scratch me up a little bit. But I'm much better now because of all of you and Terry's tribe. Terry's tribe just sits and tells me lovely stories, and people came on that I hadn't seen in a while, including my dear friend Bella, who's 9 years old. She absolutely lit up the Zoom call, and it was just so much fun. I can't thank the patrons enough publicly. Let me say thank you to the tribe for being who you are and for being so generous and so kind and always entertaining. So that's what it's about. It's a lot of fun. So if you want to do it, here's where you do it. If you don't want to find out about it, you don't have to. I'm just going to keep telling you about it because I'd love to hear your voice. But it's a quality group. It's not a quantity group. I'm not looking for numbers. I'm looking for people with heart. So if you're someone with heart and you want to share your voice for $5 a month, that's all it is, just to keep me, accountable. Then please, it's the lowest tier on the Patreon page. Patreon is a membership site and you do join it, but you can join at higher levels, but I always keep the main level is $5. So it makes it easy, okay, for you to be a part of it if you are so inclined to do so. However, speaking Disney, this is Disneyland, but Walt Disney World has made it clear that they are going to open up to at least the UK. I don't know if you read this story, but they are creating some dining experiences for the UK should they want to come over to Walt Disney World and spend a little vacation time. But Walt Disney World's a little bit ahead of Disneyland. We just opened in April 30th. And we've just been open less than a month here at Disneyland. So Walt Disney World has been open for quite some time. So this kind of sounds like their next level, and they're confident enough to do it. So you have a couple of choices if you want to have fun. My dear friend in Vegas, she really wants to go to Disneyland, but she's actually going to fly to Walt Disney World because it's taking all comers, as opposed to California, which is just Californians. Yeah, they don't want to open it up to other states just yet. Okay, but understand they've not even been open a month. So they just want to make sure things are rolling smoothly. And I admire them for that. I really do. I really do, that they're taking time to make sure everybody stays safe, because it's helpful. I don't want to see that park close again. I don't want to see either one of the Disneylands close again. It's so important to all of you that that's great. But Walt Disney World, as I said, if you're from any other state, including California, you can go to Florida, pardon me, and you can have a lovely vacation. And my friend is going to do that. She's going to do that in June. She's going to shoot over there and spend a week, and it's going to do her such good. Actually, being a little farther away from where her home is, you know how it is. You've been cooped up in your home all the time, and things yell at you like taxes you got to get done, or in my case, sales tax that needs to get done, or projects that are piling up, or books you want to read or write or whatever. And if you got kids, they need your undivided attention. Maybe you make the meals. So there's the meal planning and the meal execution and then the meal serving on top of the laundry, maybe on top of bills, So all of this can be yelling at you, even if you want to have a staycation. Oh, forgive me. Drank that tea a little fast. But maybe if you even are having a staycation, these things tend to, as you look around the house, yell at you. Oh, wow. I really should fix that screen door. Oh, goodness. That paint is peeling. Oh, my. The car needs washing. So if you go away, if you have the ability and the wherewithal, get on a plane or get in your car and take yourself to Walt Disney World, why not? And then you're in a luxurious hotel room. You're not going to stay there. That's not where that's where you're landing, right? And then you're going into Walt Disney World, and Walt Disney World and the Magic Kingdom have so much to offer, don't they? It's just so many things to offer. Like for me, I would go stay with a friend if I was so inclined. I'm going to do this next year. I hope he will receive me. And then the first thing I'm going to beg him to take me to is Yak and Yeti. I love this restaurant and I miss it so much. Luckily, I got to eat there just before the pandemic started. I went to Florida, flew back, and then the pandemic happened a couple months right after that, the lockdown, the very beginning of it in 2020. And I've been thinking Yak and Yeti. I can't get it out. It's just the best. The people are so wonderful there. The food's great. That's, of course, in the Animal Kingdom. I mean, yeah, Animal Kingdom, right? Yeah. And I love it. I just, I go to Florida to see the people, but until my friend Johnny Johnson introduced me to Yak and Yeti, and now I'm just got to have Yak and Yeti. And then he also has to take me to the ice cream place that's in Florida where it's an ice cream cone and you get the ice cream out of an ice cream cone. I don't know. I love stuff like that, right? In Kissimmee, they have the orange, but it doesn't serve orange juice anymore. Shame, really. But anyway, so there you go. So if you are someone who needs that Disney fix and you don't live in California and you can get to Walt Disney World is like, come, we love you. Come and play with us. So yeah, be sure to do that. What else do I want to talk to you about? Read about the Muppets and Haunted Mansion, and maybe I'll talk a little more about my thoughts on that, but I'll do that Monday, okay? Also want to make the announcement to all of you, I will not be broadcasting Monday Memorial Day. Not because it's Memorial Day, oddly enough, but because it's the day before I have to have, there's no other way to say it. I have to have a colonoscopy. And the day before, as you who have had colonoscopies know, is not necessarily the most fun day. So because it's all liquid diet, you start at midnight before, and then you go through this other process. I'm not going to get into details, but I am not going to be in any condition Monday, Memorial Day. What a dumb idea to schedule the day after. But I did. So my husband and I are just like, hey, let's just get it done. Get it, don't change it because, luckily I'm still at home mostly. So I'm not going to any kind of Memorial Day celebration, but I mean, I usually like to have happy Memorial Day food and wave flags and celebrate Memorial Day. I have to do it with soup, tea, clear broth. Can't even have objects in it. Has to be clear broth. And if I eat a popsicle, it can't be red or purple, stuff like that. Not that I would, but yeah. So that's why Memorial Day, there won't be a broadcast. I'll let you know next Monday and next Friday as well, because it's a ways out, because today is the 21st, 1 month before my birthday. So, but I want to just do it a couple of times, and then I will be sure and post up a thumbnail that says nothing happening today. I'll do that for sure, because I want you guys to feel good about it. Yes, indeedy. Okay, I think that is mostly what I wanted to talk about today with you guys. Just a little quick Disneyland news, and let's go into we'll go here and we'll see, how you guys are doing, but feel free to ask me questions, post them in the comments over here, both on, any kind of questions you have. And if we don't get a lot of questions in the comments, or you're not sure what to ask, I'll come up with something. Okay. I'll do my best. to pop up with something. Okay. Don't know what it'll be. One of the things about Comfy Chat is that it is a plethora of things, because I've not only done a lot of things, but my brain, if you're new or you're joining us later, please post in the comments if you like this, and subscribe on YouTube if you are so inclined. But my brain tends to go on tangents based on what you ask, or what you can also make a comment, so you don't have to ask a question. Just speak up so I know you're out there. Okay. Last AMA, it was really exciting because India visited us, and I was very touched to hear from them, because they are struggling with the pandemic, and it gave us all a chance here on this channel at this time during the AMA to wish him all our love, to send him lots of love and support to fight this terrible, terrible disease. Okay, let's get started. Okay. Bob Burdine is in the house. Hello. Francisca. Now, Francisca joins us on the Zoom calls, but she's usually working, so she listens to them, the private Zoom calls. She's a member of the tribe, like a radio. So you can do that. Yeah. 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 In fact, pretty soon I'll have the audio. I keep saying that, don't I? Yeah, lots going on. Like the hitchhiking ghosts. And speaking of hitchhiking ghosts, we meet again, Angie. Yes, we do. Thank God it's Friday. Indeed, indeed, indeed. Okay, so I do have to say one thing that made me think of this, which is that I'm just humming to myself. Just give me a minute. I just got to find it. Where is it? There it is. Okay. So these guys right here, the blacklight ghosts, got delivered. Most of them are on their way to you. If you ordered a set of these, you adopted a set of these lovely ghosts, they're on their way to you. And please let me know when you get them. You each got a tracking number. Now, if you didn't get a tracking number and you didn't get them, I probably called and chatted with you or emailed you that there were a couple of sets that didn't make it to me. And as soon as they do, I'll send them out. But the response is amazing and wonderful. And thank you for that. Thank you so much for your good well wishes, and please post and share with others. These are limited to 100, and if you want to set, feel free to inquire, and I'll get you set up, or go to terrihardin.com. That's my website. It doesn't look like much, very much like the Millennium Falcon right now, but it's gotten where it counts, and it will get better with time. You know, everything, grain of salt. Honestly, that's the way the world is as we come back from the pandemic. So anyway, people are loving these blacklight ghosts. If you find that you want a set, yay. And if you have a set, please share with others. Okay. All righty. But I was real excited to hear that you like them. What did you do with Dick and Julie? Dick Van Dyke. Well, what did I do with Dick and Julie? Dick Van Dyke, I was a speaker on the same stage as Dick Van Dyke was. Isn't that nice? I was also a speaker on the stage with Michelle Obama when she was the first lady. But I didn't get to have a conversation with her because she had serious Secret Service around her. But I got a glimpse of her. And that's closer than I've ever been to any first lady that I can even think of. The same with presidents, actually. Yeah. Yeah, same with presidents. Closest I've been with presidents. Yeah. Anyway, Dick Van Dyke and I were on the same stage at a special with Mice Chat, and I got the opportunity to have a lovely chat with him and talk about the joys of entertaining. Why we are compelled to entertain, and how it never goes away, right? It just never goes away. And let me just, maybe it's in my favorites. I'm going to check and see if it's in my favorites. Let me just see if I've got a picture for you guys. If I had a brain, I would put it in my favorites. And obviously, it doesn't look like I did. So we got to go back into we got to dig in the library. I got to dig in my photo library, which is vast. You know, how many people have an organized photo library? I envy you if you have a organized photo library. But anyway, so Dick Van Dyke were speakers on the same stage, and we didn't really have a backstage, but we had a sort of side stage where we all sat, and we got to visit, and we got to chat a little bit, and we talked. The thing that I spoke with him about mainly was how much fun it was to do Mary Poppins, an obvious question. But I wanted to know about, I told him that I love performing in front of people with puppets, with speaking, public speaking, with everything like that. Entertaining. I love entertaining. And Dick Van Dyke said that he just can't stop dancing. So he will dance until he can no longer dance again. And honestly, if he couldn't dance with his legs, he'd dance with his arms. He's one of these people that just animates the entire body, and it's a way of exercise. He dances to exercise as well. And in his 90s, I mean, I want to be like him and Betty White and all of those who are really up there. I want to live till 150, and I want to be healthy. So I'm working really hard to stay as healthy as possible. And there you go. So I'm just still looking. It may not be here. I'll be surprised if it's not here, but I don't know if I have it here. It's amazing how many pictures I have, and then I go, where's that one? That one's not here. Why isn't that one here? But it's all good, man. And if I don't show it this time, remind me and I'll show it next time. I'm going to look really quickly one more time, and then I'll just tell the story. Tell the story. All right, I'll do one more thing because I know you really want to see it. So let me do one more thing here. I think it's in my favorites on my phone. Let me just look. Isn't it fun to watch someone sort of in a frozen state staring at their phone? It's about as fun as watching wet paint dry, isn't it? Basically, it's not fun at all. Why are you doing it? Because I'm trying to find this Dick Van Dyke picture. There it is, and it is a favorite here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to shoot it on over. You guys like AirDrop? I love AirDrop. Oh my God. It is the best thing in the world, and I can do it here. There it is. Yay, thank you. It's going to pop up right now. There we go. And here you are. Better late than never. So here we are. Isn't that a lovely coat I have on? Anyway, here we are together, and we are just chatting it up and having a really good time. And what a blessing. What a joy. So that's what we did. We just pretty much talked performing, Angie, and life, and living a good life, and staying healthy, moving around however you do it. I mentioned today on my Patreon page, I move from my shop to my home to my shop, because I keep going, oh, I need a pen. Oh, I need a pad. Oh, I meant to say bring a book. Oops, I forgot to do. So I'm about 8,000 steps a day on a good day. On a not so good day, about 4,000. In fact, a friend of my husband says, do you ever sit down? No, not really. But hey, I'm sitting down now. So there you go, Angie. And Julie Andrews is another very different story. I didn't get the chance to talk with her for very long. Once upon a time, it was the 50th anniversary at Disneyland. I, Terri Hardin, had agreed to go and appear at Club 33 for a group of people who had been so very kind to invite me to tell them stories much like I'm telling you now. Watching me visually is a little easier because I act things out. And I had a plan to get to Club 33 on the 50th or around the, as you may remember, if you were here in California or anywhere points around it or know about the 50th, it went for a full year. So this was the peak of it. This was July, and I was walking very fast to get to my appointment. I wasn't late for a very important date, but I was about to be if I didn't hustle. And on my way, I cut through the Grand Californian, which you used to be able to do. Now they kind of on it, but I cut through the Grand Californian and was going full tilt walk and smashed like that into Julie Andrews, and we both, boom. True story. Absolute true story. As we sit on our butts looking at each other. Whoa. Julie Andrews. And here's the shocker. She said, "Are you Terri Hardin?" Yeah. I didn't have social media. I didn't have this back during the 50th. She says, "I just was at a gathering Disney put together of Disney legends, and I met Bob Gurr. And Bob Gurr had a puppet, and I went, Stitch." And she said, "Yes." And she said, "You made it for him. And he was so funny. He performed it for us. And he told us all about you, this girl with blonde dreadlocks." And I just took a chance, and because it's kind of funny that I'm just coming out of there. And I said, "Well, I'm terribly sorry," as we picked each other up and dusted each other off. And she said, "It's a pleasure to meet you." And I said, "Gosh, I would really love to talk to you more. And but I really got to go. Doggone it." And she said, "I know what you mean, because so do I." So I said, "I love you so much. I love all your work. I don't think there's anything that I've seen I haven't loved, but I really love Sound of Music. And of course, Mary Poppins. You are Mary Poppins. And thank you for taking a couple of times to crash into me and not be angry. And I love you." And she said, "Right back at you." And off we went. So that's my Julie story. Yeah. Really? Really. See, do I do anything normal? Just write it off. What is normal? And I don't do it. Terri Hardin, unicorn. That's just the way it is. Thank you for that question, Angie. Morning, Deanna. And Bonnie says, "Morning to you, Angie. See, you're getting your own following, girlfriend." Cheryl Sawyer got vaccinated this week. Whoop, whoop. That deserves applause. Okay, Ontario, Canada, even better. Also wanted to let you know that since our conversation about Nicolas Cage a few months ago, I scored a copy of Ghost Rider from my local thrift store. Yay! Don't you just love that movie? Okay, some of you, don't be judgmental. Be curious. I feel you out there. Be curious. Nicolas Cage movies are great. They may have a lot of solid emotional content, but I don't want that. And Nicolas Cage delivers, from his cute, funny, quizzical expressions to movies that are completely outrageous. I love him. I go see every Nicolas Cage movie because I know I'm going to have fun. Is it going to always make sense? No. Who cares? I love it. I love it. And what is it? Johnny Gage? Oh, I just love Johnny. So yay for you. Oh my gosh. Good for you, Cheryl. You're going to love it. You're going to love it. You're going to love it. Oh, you got to share with me how you liked it. Oh, I just watched it not too long ago. Whenever I need a fun off the wall. Oh, it's so good. I won't talk about it now. I'm just going to let you, because you may have seen it before, but you're not going to remember every detail. So when you watch it again, it's going to be a lot of fun. That's what I discovered, Cheryl, from watching Toy Story. I watched Toy Story 1, 2, and 3 yesterday. My husband and I took a day and just spent it with each other. No, it wasn't Sunday, but we just really enjoyed. We've had a huge loss, a friend of ours. And so we needed to just sort of talk. And we talked about all kinds of things, not just our friend, but about, listening and speaking And why do many marriages keep score? Like the wife will say, I'm not going to make 2 cups of coffee for me and my husband. He can make his own. When you're making a cup of coffee, or you're making a cup of tea, or you're making a meal, why not do it for 2? I don't get it. And there are people out there, not you guys, but there are people out there that are like, he can make his own, I don't get it. But anyway, that was one of the things we talked about. And then we curled up and decided to watch Toy Story. And it was such a surprise to me. It had been such a long time since I saw the original Toy Story. And it was just, you see it through different eyes when you get older. And I was like, oh my gosh, this Toy Story. And then to watch 1, 2, and 3, one of the things that just really surprised me, and I really noticed, is that Disney, as you guys have noticed, Disney as a company seems to really be trying hard to walk that center line of political correctness. Have you noticed this? Now, here's the problem with that. As Miyazaki, there is a slip of the tongue, another great animator, by the way, My Neighbor Totoro. And it was really great that in one of the Toy Stories to see Totoro make an appearance. He is absolutely one of my favorite Miyazakis. But anyway, I'm digressing. In The Karate Kid, Mr. Miyagi says, walk to the left side safe, walk to the right side safe, walk down the middle squish. You've heard me say this before, so I won't elaborate anymore. But Disney seems to walk this middle road. And I won't say a lot about it, but Raya and the last movie, Raya and the Dragon, did just that. It became this sort of watered down film. It didn't really make me feel as much as I thought it was going to. There were definitely some characters in there I thought were amazing, but I didn't feel. When you watch Toy Story 1, 2, and 3, you feel it. You fear. You get sad. In fact, my husband says one of the most moving moments for him is in Toy Story 2 when Jessie sings about her little girl. It gets him every time. He says that song, he hadn't watched it in a long time, and he said, that's what I remember about too, is that song that Jessie sings. It's it brings tears. Okay. Dumbo, baby of mine, mother with the baby Dumbo in the trunk outside of being locked in jail, and you cry. People need to feel in films, and Disney is trying not to hurt anybody, not to make people sad or too happy. And I think this is, let me say this again with conviction, this is a mistake. This is a mistake. Your movies, I mean, lots of people saw it and it made money, okay? Raya made money, apparently. I think it did. Anyway, I think it did. But I went I got the opportunity to see it a couple of days ago, and I wondered why it wasn't first and foremost on Disney Plus. When I pulled up Disney Plus, I had to dig for it. I actually had to search for it. And I didn't understand that because it's not yet dropped for free. It drops for free on Disney Plus, by the way, on June 4th. So why wasn't it up there? And I don't know. It seems to have kind of, you know what I mean? It's not that yowza. Think about Frozen, if you will. Frozen has real strong, cutting emotions. Okay. You know, she suffers, and it's the love of her sister that brings her back. We feel that. We feel that ice in her heart and that pain. We feel when she's cold. We identify with Elsa when she sings Let It Go. She's tired of being told what to do. She's tired of hiding her ability under a bushel. She's tired. Don't show it. People won't understand. People won't like you, so don't share that. We've all been there. Why do you think Frozen is so popular? It makes you feel. Little girls love being Anna or Elsa because they make you feel. Even Olaf makes you feel. You feel fear because Olaf loves summer and he's a flippin' snowman. They really went for it with Frozen. I know many people are sick of hearing the song, sick of seeing the costumes, sick of hearing the merchandise, but you cannot go past the fact that Frozen makes you feel. And that's what people need in a movie. We need to be a part of that movie. And if you make it all like a cotton billow all the way across, it becomes something that is the worst thing for films, especially animation. A touch boring. Boring. Nobody, well, maybe some of you, like to read the end of a book before you finish the beginning. Maybe you read the front, you jump to the back. Only time I've ever done that is with Stephen King. His books are just a bit too long for me, and a lot of it is a lot of fluff in the middle. I think he gets paid by the word, but bless him, I'm not judging him. In fact, I asked him, I was curious, why such a thick book that really doesn't say anything in the middle? The shining key points, beginning, middle, end. If you do it that way, you've got the book. In my opinion, Stephen. But Stephen did point out at a later time that his love was really to do Shawshank Redemption and Green Mile, which absolutely sent me over the moon. When I found out Stephen King had written those, I couldn't believe it. I said, this is what you should be writing. And he was like, duh. Okay. Stephen King's like, this is what I should be writing, but it didn't sell. And he makes a very good point. Back in the day, horror was his handle, man. You know it. He was on fire. He's still on fire. The name Stephen King associated with something he writes in the horror genre, you'll read it just because his name is on it. You'll read somebody else just because Stephen King's name is on it. Don't say you don't, okay? And you should, because the man is a genius. But he made me realize, clearly he made me realize that his heart was in Shawshank and movies like Green Mile and Shawshank. And you can feel it. Man, you can feel it. When you see those movies, you go, oh, man, Stephen, this is your zone, man. And he's kind of like, yeah, it is. But not everybody wants to read in his zone. So in order to eat, doing what I love, I do what sells as well. Not that he doesn't like it, okay? It's a little bit fun, but it's not his ultimate. It does, he made it kind of clear it's not his ultimate dream. He'd like to write this other cool stuff. Really deep, heartfelt stories. And if you haven't seen Green Mile, oh my God, you got to see it. Oh, it's so good. But you feel. The point is, if you're going to make a film, if you're going to do anything with a character, they need to feel. They need to have conflict and they need to rise above it. That's what makes me love it. Okay? How many of you love How to Train Your Dragon? You know why. Because the ultimate dragon is wounded and this young man has to swallow his fear to befriend something that he's been told all his life is evil. And we're right there scared, watching. So none of this pillow soft stuff. Because Ran the Dragon to me was just a little too soft, a little too, I'm not going to spoil it for you if you haven't seen it. But you never fear for anybody. You're never concerned for anybody. You know everybody's going to be safe. And so you're like, oh, there's more. Okay, now little kids may disagree with me, and that's wonderful. I really love you if you love this movie. I'm not saying I don't love this movie. I really like this movie. It has dragons in it. Okay, so you got me at dragons. All right, and the woman who does the voice for the dragon is amazing. I just adore her. I fell in love with her in Crazy Rich Asians, that movie. Another great film. But she was just so cute and so adorable. I wanted to follow her everywhere because she was just so quirky and unusual. And of course, she's the voice of the main dragon. You just go, of dragon, not the main dragon, the dragon. She's the voice of the dragon. And she's wonderful. It's worth it to watch her interact with anything. Just watch her on the screen. It's worth it. But like I said, there just isn't. There's no feeling. You don't ever, the character just doesn't seem, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but that's my thing, and I'm sticking to it. Back to Cheryl and her vaccine. I'm so excited for her. My mother-in-law we took her, like I have a mouse in my pocket. My husband took his mother, picked her up, and drove her to a vaccination site. This sometimes is what you need to do for other people if you want to help them get it done. Now we are so, vaccine is so available here in California. You can go to your CVS just down the street, like walk even. It's that easy. But she did not want to go anywhere where she was inside. So we told her about how we did it, which was we're in our car, we drive through, you roll down the window, boop, boop, done. Okay. And we told her that he told her he would pick her up, take her out there, and she didn't want to be any kind of trouble. Forget it. We know about it. We're going to do it. Now, I was going to go with them because I usually am the navigator for my husband. He did get a little lost, but he still got it done. But the point is that because I'm vaccinated, he's vaccinated, we're going to be in an enclosed vehicle. We didn't want to have too many people, even though I've gone nowhere. But it's just best to be safe than sorry. And one person with her because she was not vaccinated and she's 91 this year. Okay. So it's all about other people. We could have worn masks the whole time in the car, but I said, no. You take your mom. Okay. She knows that you have gone nowhere. He's high risk. So he's all vaccinated, everything cool. And she got it and she was so happy. And I warned her the stress had built up in her because she had not gotten it. And of course, have you ever noticed when you're going to fly somewhere, somebody tells you plane crash stories? If you're going to have bypass, they tell you when the bypasses went wrong. I don't know what's the deal with these people, but they always tell you. So she was getting all of these scary stories. I don't even know what scary stories because I didn't realize there were a lot of scary stories when the vaccine is concerned, except for ones that she was not going to have done. But she, you absorb this and you get scared. She wasn't sleeping for 2 days before. And I said, the minute you get this vaccine, you're going to need to go home and go to sleep. Okay. Because the relief that washes over your body, right, Cheryl? The relief over your body as finally getting it done. You just kind of go, huh. Has nothing to do with the vaccine other than the stress that you have put yourself under. I know this for a fact because I got to tell you, I went home and had something to drink, lots of waters. They told me lots of rest. It was easy. I put my head on the pillow and I passed out for about a good 6 hours. First shot. It was the stress. Here's the interesting thing. My husband got the vaccine first, Cheryl, because he was high risk. And the minute he got it, I fell asleep again because I knew he was safe. And I you know what I mean. You guys all know what I mean when it comes to the vaccine. So congratulations, Cheryl. Tell us more about your student film and the thumbnails you created for it. That's here. And it's interesting you should ask because I am going to first post it on my Patreon page for behind the scenes for the tribe to see, those of us that are in the behind the scenes section of the tribe. But then also I will post it on YouTube a couple weeks later. So it is coming. It's called Hostel. And what made me do it? I'm trying to remember why I even did it, other than I was curious. But when I was backpacking through Europe at 19 years old, I did it for 2 months. I went down to Ravenna, Italy. We had been going from youth hostel to youth hostel to youth hostel. And if you've ever youth hostel jumped, this is in 1977, by the way. So many of you weren't even born. But in 1977, I said to myself with 2 of my friends, let's go tour Europe because once I get older, I'm going to have obligations. It's not going to be so easy. And so we did. I got a backpack. I backpacked through Europe for 2 months. While I was there, some of the youth hostel beds had a lot to be desired. Some of the places, not that it was bad. It was always a wonderful place. But the beds were kind of thin cots. We're all students. We don't really need super things to sleep in. But in Ravenna, they had just opened this brand new youth hostel. There were few people in it. And there were these beautiful, thick mattresses. And I was like, oh, am I going to sleep? This is amazing. And I went to bed and there was one mosquito that decided to not only bite me, but tell me about it. and I would like, so anytime I went to sleep, I'd go to sleep and he'd go, and I'd go, and then I'd go back to sleep and he'd, and so I tried to get up and hopefully like walk out of the room and open the door to see if he would leave. And then I went outside at one point and it rained on me a little bit. My hair expanded. Anyway, I was really tired. It was about 2 or 3 in the morning, and I went downstairs, said, if I can't sleep, at least I can walk, and I'm not hearing that mosquito in my ear. And I went down to what was a ballroom area, and I hid behind opened the window and hid behind the long drapes in the ballroom. And the breeze coming in felt so good. I was wearing a long white nightshirt I had made myself that went to the floor. It was not revealing. It was youth hostel, so that if I ever needed to get up and go to the bathroom or anything, I could just get up because I had made this particularly nice gown that was not too sexy or revealing. It was just a gown for sleeping. Think of Geppetto in his nightshirt, only mine went to the floor. So there I was, and everything was blowing nicely when I heard an Italian lady, hello? And I turned to pull the drape back when the wind caught it, and it billowed out and around. My hair is sticking all out. Many of you have seen what my hair looks like. My eyes were a mess because I had not slept, and I turned and the woman screamed, "Ghost!" and she ran away. So that's what the film is about. The film is about this experience, and the next day what happened. And the next day they were talking about how that Ravenna was haunted and she had seen a ghost, because I ran, she ran. So the film is called Hostel. And it's I made a silent movie. I wanted to make a silent movie. And I cast it. I directed it. But it was fun to do, I've always said that probably it's always fun to make a film for the most part. Maybe not Jaws. I know that Steven Spielberg said that shark, Bruce, kept breaking down and it was really frustrating. But most of the time, movies are fun even if they suck, right? To make. I think that a lot of people liked making certain films, but then were a little surprised when they sort of weren't received well. But I mean, T-Rex was sort of mediocre fun, but it was fun to do. It just wasn't a great movie. So some areas it was really fun, and some areas it was fun. But most of the time they're really fun. Sometimes they're not good, to do. Like Monkey Bone, I had a really good time, but Henry Selick apologized when he screened it. I'm sorry. He got up in front of us and with Monkey Bone and went, "I'm sorry." And the movie, it has a cult following. People like it, but they tended to decide to go with the people instead of Coma Town, and that's always a mistake. You always err towards the puppets. I'm sorry. People love watching puppets and audio animatronic characters. So you do that. Same with Country Bears. They should have, not that Country Bears was a bad film, but Country Bears would have been a better film had they done what they initially decided to do, which was all the audio animatronic characters. So the student film, it was not really a student film. It was just a film that I did that I wanted to explore. I had been watching Project Greenlight. Do you remember this at all, guys? This is where we kind of first met Shia LaBeouf. Was one of the winners of Project, got Shia as one of the actors, and he acted in the film. The film was, but Shia was really good. He had been in a movie called Holes, I think, and then he just really took off after that, and he's really rocking it now. So Project Runway, you never know again what you do and who's going to see it and if they like it. So. But I promise I will show you that as soon. My husband said I can access it, and we will now that I'm doing better. And I'll be happy to show it to you in a few weeks down the road. My patrons will see it first. My tribe gets to see it first. Thank you for that question, Leo. But yeah, I created it with my husband. We shot it at a restaurant. It was really fun. One moment, please. It's not real good to drink and talk at the same time. Ah, that's better. Okay. So before we get to Francisca's comment, the castaways, I hired the castaway for the ballroom scene, and when I went to shoot it, they had taken down curtains to clean them, and so I flipped out. You can make the best laid plans as a filmmaker, but I flipped out. I really lost I was like, hey, I paid real money here to do that, blah, 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 blah. And so they apologized and got the curtains up. I didn't need the whole ballroom. I just needed, well, I did for the long shot, but for the close-up, I had to end up shooting somewhere else. I had shot the long shot with the curtains in it, and then for the close-up, I didn't have the curtains. People did, but anyway, I'll tell you, yeah. But so you just keep going, and I don't know. You will. I promise you guys get to see it. But anyway, Francisca says you've inspired me to sign up for Chalk Walk and Chuck Jones Red Dot Auction. Have you done it yet? The Red Dot Auction. That's a fun thing to do. And Francisca, you can share with me. We'll share with each other our paintings after the event. We're not going to show before because people can't know who painted them before the auction. It's all, nobody knows who the artist is, because then people would collect the artist, not the work, and it's got to go on the work, right, for Red Dot. So, but afterwards, once the gala is over, we'll share what our paintings were. That'll be fun. That'll be really fun. And then if you haven't joined let me just if you haven't joined a team yet, I would love for you to join ours, which is the Mickey's OUAC Walkers. Probably should have capitalized that. But just Google Mickey's and you'll see OUAC Walkers if you haven't joined a team. If you have joined a team, I understand, but we'd love to have you, if you have not, Francisca, we would love to have you join our team because it's a great group and you can play bingo with us, which would be really fun. So I would love that if you would do that, if you were so inclined. And if you have any questions, Francisca, here she is again. If you have any questions, just shoot a shout out if you haven't joined a team yet. I'm just saying, please. And you get a cool Mickey shirt. I think maybe she did a couple extras. But anyway, enough on that. You see, I'm trying to twist your arm, Francisca. But I'm glad you're doing it. I'm so glad. Thank you for saying that. Thank you. Thank you very much. Good morning, Grim Gritting Tasty. Morning. Hi, Shelby. Joe Penny's in the house. Happy Empire Day on this day in 1980. The Empire Strikes Back premiered in theaters. Maybe that's why I pulled the DVD down. Joe, maybe that's why I did. Wow, I forgot it was on the 21st. Well, I was in line for 3 days. How am I even going to know? I was in line for 3 days for this movie. Oh, ran together as watercolors. I'll get to read it in a book, which will be released next year. Telling you all about my Star Wars life. But yes, happy Empire Day. I woke up early this morning and said to my husband, I want to have a copy of the original Star Wars 1977, Empire Strikes Back 1980, and Jedi 1981. But George Lucas went in some time ago and changed them. He did a lot of CG, and apparently he's done it again to make a more CG. And I don't want to see those versions. I want to see the original that inspired me and excited me, however clunky, however imperfect. And the only way I have it, because it was never made on DVD in its original format, to my knowledge. If I'm wrong, Joe, let me know. If I'm wrong, you can find it, send it to me. But, and I'll pay you for it. But the only way I have it is on Laserdisc. If you want to see that set of Laserdiscs, you let me know. But I was asking my husband how we might be able to transfer or somehow work out the Laserdiscs, somehow watch them. Now, we have a Laserdisc machine. So I said, could we pull out the Laserdisc machine and celebrate Star Wars by watching it in its original format? Because that's the way I love it. Okay, so in Star Wars, if you eat the first pass that George Lucas did on Star Wars, I know I'm digressing. This is me. In Star Wars, when George Lucas first released it on DVD, he changed. You remember when the stormtroopers come down to Tatooine and looking for Luke, and there's a dewback with the stormtrooper on the top, and it's frozen in the back. That's because it was sculpted. It didn't move. Well, George made it move in the version that he did, the first DVD version. He went back in and he had the technology. He made that dewback move, and he did a few other things in there, which is fine. It's his art, right? But it doesn't mean that it's my favorite. Okay, I give you the right, it's your film, but doesn't mean I'm going to like it. I don't have to like it because you decided to change it. Neither do you, if you know what I mean? So I just want to see it with the dewback frozen in the background and some of the things that he had to work out because technology wasn't there. Because there was a lot of technology that was there, thank you, John Dykstra, and the battle sequences with the ships. And I want to see it that way. That's the movie that got me here. As Walt Disney's legendary Imagineer, as a fully trademarked artist, as an international speaker and author, all of that started with Star Wars because it validated everything I had been doing up until that point. Okay? And there's a movie out there that does that for you. For me, it was the original, non-doctored Star Wars. And so that's what I want. And so I woke up today and I said to my husband, can we pull out, we have a Laserdisc machine, can we pull it out and hook it up? Because I'd really like to see the original version. And I keep hoping George will do the original version, but really, why should he? Because it's a thorn in his side. It really bothered him. Those things weren't moving and animating. And okay, I get it. I understand. But it doesn't mean I want to see it still. So, and then apparently they just did another one with even more CG in it. And that's going to make me go, blah. Okay. Don't get me started on that. But anyway, so Joe, if you know where there's one that I can get that is the old version without all of the fluff added, I'd love it. But anyway, if not, and you want to see that DVD, I have the Laserdisc still and the music still on CD. That was released back way. I mean, you could probably still get the music on CD, could you? I don't know. Now it's probably downloadable. But I have box art and everything. Two things that I just couldn't part with when I sold my collection. Thank you for bringing that up, Joe. It just put me right in the happy Star Wars zone. Hi. Hello, cousin. It's nice when my cousins come to visit, isn't it? Yay. Deanna says, I have been a member of the tribe for a year now. Yes. And Deanna, you bring up a good point. We probably should have some sort of cool thing that I give you guys for your yearly, you hit those benchmarks, you should be celebrated. Even if it's just me going, bravo, but you should be celebrated. I'll think of something. Yeah. Once these ghosts are done. Oh, the ghosts. I love them, but they need to get off to their adoptive parents. I really am working hard to do that. Cheryl says, May has certainly been rough. Yes, it has, my love. I'm with you on that word. We had to say goodbye to our 15-year-old dog. Lucky 2 weeks ago. Oh, glad I had some vacation time for some healing. Oh, I know what you mean. Cheryl, I know exactly what you mean. A few years back, we lost my little bulldog and my husband. We still talk about her. She was a mini English bulldog that was a little slice of heaven. We have Rocket now. And Rocket's lovely. Oh, Rocket is so funny, so sweet. But my husband's heart belongs to Tilly, and bless her heart, it was hard to lose her too. So I feel for you. We had her 13 and a half years, and she died of a brain tumor. So it was tough. I know what you're going through, and I send you all my love and hugs because May. I don't think she died in May. I think we lost Tilly in February or April, March. We lost her in March. Not recently, because we've had Rocket for 4 years. Rocket's birthday is the Queen's birthday, April 21st. But Rocket does a lot to give us joy because there I am. I'm back. Again, I apologize for the Wi-Fi. It does what it wants to, not always what I want it to do. So forgive me if I'm freezing or blacking out or whatever. My husband and I are working to make it better, but we're limited with our service here. So as the service gets better, we will get better. And we love you for hanging in there. But yes, having a vacation for some healing is great. Rocket is super funny. She's only Tilly was a 20-pound dog, 32-pound dog. Sorry, 32-pound dog was Tilly. Rocket is 10, and I listened to a radio show where they talked about how you could have these cameras that if you're working, you could peek in on your fur babies. But like dogs mostly, and the camera will make like a beeping sound or something, and then you can use your phone, or it will automatically give your dog treats, and you can fill it with treats so that your dog is entertained and whatever. Rocket doesn't eat treats. She's the first dog in the history of my life that is not motivated by treats or food. So training her was a real e-ticket. I always use food training when I train my animals, my puppies and my dogs. And, I had to work hard to train her. Oh my Lord. It was a challenge. And then I've discovered that there is one Achilles heel that she has that she absolutely goes gaga for, and she cannot help herself. And that is fish. Just like her mom. So fish would be the training thing that I would do for her in the future if I was. She's very well trained now, but except for with my husband, she tends to take advantage. If he had fish, we took a little dried fish, she would go bananas. She loves fish, and she's also got a sweet tooth. Tilly liked doggy cake, but didn't have a sweet tooth, and she loved all food, especially turkey. Foster Farms turkey dogs. So again, Cheryl, I am very sorry for your loss, and I'm glad you're here, where everyone can give you the love and support. I'm gonna turn the camera just a little bit more, much more interesting point of view. When cumbers unite, they become a cummerbund. Oh, Joe, my husband would love you. If you were in the place, you guys would be punning for days. You guys would be the pun masters. He loves to pun. He just loves it. There's not a lot of people that love to pun with him, so that's why, Joe, I'm thinking of you right away. You would be punners, wouldn't you? Very cute. There we go. Canadians wish that we could go to the parks. Also missing Dayton Disneyland for the second year. I miss my Disney people. Cheryl, I'm with you. I'm real excited to go to Dayton Disneyland. I will say to you, though, hopefully in September, maybe you should consider coming down to Marceline, because Toonfest is happening. Keep your fingers crossed. It has not yet been canceled for this year. And you'll be able to get your Disney on at Walt Disney's hometown. So think about it. I tell about it, and I will have more news as it develops. It's going to be in September, and I will be there. I've never been to Marceline, so I'm really excited about being a part of it. And more on Toonfest later. But stay to this bad channel, and we'll get you. But that might be something you want to get your Disney on. Maybe come down and see us over there in Marceline. Take a little side, make it special, Oh, I'd love to see you. Grim Gritting Tasty says, I've had a colonoscopy, boy. Do I understand drinking broth was not where the drama was? LOL. Yeah, it wasn't. But that day is going to be. I've done it before, but I'm not myself. Like I said, Memorial Day is usually when you party down, you have a hot dog, you get a little potato salad, you celebrate all veterans. I'll be celebrating them just with clear liquids and broth. Rats. I'll probably eat a popsicle, not red or purple. Just feel like I'm doing something fun. But my husband's taking the day to take care of me that day, which is good because I'm usually very tired afterwards. It's a nice nap, and I just I cut that day off. I just make that day, open that day up, so it's special. Shelby says, I know you've done cosplays, but in the process, have you ever used any corsetry with, yes, corsets? You mean corset? Have I ever done a corset? I haven't built a corset because that is exciting unto itself, isn't it? Corsets are amazing. And let me see. I'm going to go to my albums again. I'm just looking to see if I have. I was hoping I had a cosplay section. I do. I do. I did it. Okay, so just for you, Shelby, I'm going to show you my one corsetry thing. There's the Chalk Walk banner again, simply because I'd love to have her on the team. Okay, let's go back to the comments. There we go. Okay. I just want to make sure I haven't missed. There we go. Okay, there we go. Okay. So, Shelby, here it is. I'm reaching. There we go. So I did Catwoman. Okay, I did the Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman. My best friend made the pattern. I sketched it up and made the pattern. One thing about cosplay, and here is the corset. Do you see the corset right there? I actually hired a corset maker to make the corset. Corsets are such a fine-tuned instrument that I wanted this to be really right. And I had a figure that wasn't, I mean, the figure is killer here, right? But that corset is the reason why. It took, I needed a tiny waist where I had practically no waist. I had more of a linear build. And this allowed me to, it shaped me and made me a shape that I wouldn't have normally been had I not had this beautiful corset. Made me more curvy is what I'm trying to say. But this corset is amazing. The stitching on it is all silver, not white, like in the movie. One thing about cosplay that is very important is you need to know the environment where you're going to be. If you're going to be live and in person, you can kind of dazzle the outfit up a little bit. And I was going to be at a nightclub, and so I wanted the stitches to sparkle. So I did them all in silver stitching. And when I got the corset back, I did the silver stitching on the corset. I had a head cast made of my head, and I sculpted the actual Catwoman cowl. And if you want to see that, I can't get it now, but post it in the comments, and next week I will grab it, okay, and show it to you Friday. So then Monday you can say, hey, I would love to see it, or you can say it now, I'd love to see it, and I'll make sure next Friday's AMA, I'll pull it up and you can actually see the cowl. The suit is long gone. It's made out of, hold on a minute, patent, polished double knit, something like that. Anyway, it was a black high gloss double knit fabric. It stretched in every direction, and we made it, and then we hid the stitches. You can't see in this picture because this is a photo, but you see no stitches in the body at all because the pattern was made. So you might see a little bit right between, you see how the silver goes down my hip and then it crosses like a cut across my upper knee. There might be a seam right there, but that's the only place you can see a seam. We hid the seams underneath the silver stitching. And that's another thing that you do when you create cosplay. And then my eyes, you may not be able to tell here, but I'm wearing blue contacts like Michelle Pfeiffer because mine are a deep chocolate brown. And so I did that. And then I trained with the whip. And this may to some seem like a lot of work, but in today's cosplay world, I've seen y'all do way more than that. So you guys really get into it, and you're a lot like me. You create the total character. So yeah, this is corsetry. And then when I was maid of honor with my best friend, she made me corset. But this one is Corsetzilla. I mean, this corset, and I still have it if you want to see it. I blipped, so I didn't speak during the blip. I am back, so now I'm speaking. But if you want to see the corset or you want to see the parts that I do have, including my whip, welcome to see it. I trained with the whip. I did all of it, and I won. I went to a nightclub where a lot of people were dressed as Catwoman. You know, that sort of off-the-shelf Catwoman. And we're gonna show your question again. There we go, corsetry. And there were a lot of girls and a lot of women because it was the year of Catwoman. The minute the Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman dropped, I started collecting reference. And then I kept waiting for the plated double knit set. And then I bought it early. I think the movie dropped in May or June, and I bought as a lot of plated double knit. It's nice because it's 60 inches wide, this particular plating. And then I sat on it, and then I flew out to see my friend, and we designed the whole, well, I think she was still here, but she designed the whole pattern with me and, you know, over on my body. And then I did the rest, the fingernails, everything. I mean, I can show you the gloves where I did the fingernails that actually, I mean, detailed to the max, including my bullwhip, which you can see the popper here. Right there, you see? So there's the end of the bullwhip. Here's like the middle of the bullwhip right along my body there. But I can still work it pretty tough. I'm actually standing on the dinosaur set because Jim Henson, Disney's Dinosaurs, allowed us to come in costume for Halloween one year, and I came as the Catwoman. And absolutely loved it. Loved it. And what I started to say was I went to a club, and they saw me working the whip, and then they told me not to work it inside the club because there were like judges below. You cross the stage, and I agreed not to do it, and then I cracked it over their heads anyway. You really have to know where the popper is, but I had trained. The popper is the end piece that makes that crack, pow, right? It's actually breaking the sound barrier. That popping you hear is that little end called the popper breaking the sound barrier. That's how it works. So you have to know where that is at all times because that's the part that hurts. If you love Clint Eastwood movies like I do, you will remember High Plains Drifter, in which the sheriff is whipped to death. You'll notice if you watch it again carefully, they're only hitting the actor with the main body, the middle part of the bullwhip. See how corsets take me to the bullwhip, Shelby? But as long as they don't hit him with the end, with the popper, it won't break the skin. It won't hurt. It's the end that really hurts. And that's why when you see people driving stagecoaches, they will crack the popper over the horse to make the horse go faster. It's their signal, but they never hit the animal or hit anybody with that end. And that's what my teacher, I had a teacher who must have been in his 80s at the time, teach me about the popper and how to be careful. So in order to crack this over the heads of the judges and win the $7,000 first prize, I had to really know what I was doing. And it scared the It scared them. Okay. Remember what I was saying about being PC? You go up and you give a bland performance, people forget about it. You give a memorable one, which I will assure you, cracking a popper over the heads of your judges is memorable. You can win. Note to yourselves as cosplayers. What a great question, Shelby. Thank you for taking me there. That was a lot of fun. I love being Catwoman. I have to make the suit over again because the plated doublemint after a while gets old. And I did this outfit in the 90s because there I am on the dinosaur set, right? Yeah, so woohoo! Like my mermaid tail done in the 80s. Gosh, Angie says, I smile more during these streams than any other time during the week. Thank you. You got it. That's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here for. Make you smile. Morning, Janny. Oh, I'm hoping I get to paint today. I have got a teacher, Janny, I just got to say to you, that is having me do layered acrylics, and it is like so bizarre. I just have to give over because I can't see the end game. I see his end game, but you know, when somebody's teaching you, your end game is going to be different because you're you and they're them. So I'll be chatting with you later because it is a weird. It's weird. Yeah. The whole body is going. Maybe we should sculpt for a while. You remember how that felt? Yes, I do. Grim Greedy Tasty says, "Me too, Angie. This stream is my favorite time of the week." Thank you for saying that. You guys are the best. Thank you for taking the time. Okay. Let's just bring me down because my husband says I get really, really excited and energetic. But let's get real for a moment and say, I really want to thank you for in comments saying that to me, because sometimes when you're talking to a camera and you can't hear your immediate response, it's hard to know if what you're delivering is something that people like. So to hear that you guys like this, I'm very grateful. I'm very, very grateful. So thank you for taking the time to say that. Good morning, Ava. Did you see the Facebook post of Julie Andrews calling it was the sweetest? No, I did not see that. I'm gonna have to check that out. I don't spend a lot of time on Facebook. But don't you just love Jennifer Gardner? I mean, there's another cute Gardner. She's another cutie. You know, she smiles and those dimples go, eh. Oh, she's the cutest thing. God really loves sculpting her, because she smiles and the whole room lights up. So no, I did not get to see that, but I will look that up. Julie Andrews calling Jennifer Garner, because I'm a big Jennifer Garner fan. I just think the woman is adorable. I could just sit and watch her smile. She's doing a commercial. It's the one commercial I stopped because she just has she lights up a room. Her face just does. Tell me I'm wrong. Leo says, what did you think about the rare criticism from Prince William and Harry's earlier this week after an inquiry found the BBC journalist Martin Basher has used duplicitous means to win an interview with Diana, and that the broadcaster has sense to cover it up? Well, what do we think about that, right? And I'm not trying to be PC about it, but what do we think about it? It goes to the movie Soul, okay, which is one of my favorite Disney movies that they've put out for a very long time, is this movie Soul. And Soul talks about obsession and talks about how when you're obsessed, you're not living. So let's go back to this reporter who did these shady means to get an interview with Diana because he just wanted this interview. He didn't care what he did or how he did it. He didn't care if it was illegal, immoral, unethical, did he? At least that's the way it's looking. Let me just put that caveat. I wasn't there, okay? But now things are coming out that not only was it not ethical, but people were trying to cover it up. And when you're trying to cover it up, why would you cover it up if it was nothing to cover up? So this is a lesson, okay? This is a lesson to everybody. Don't get so obsessed you start to do things you're going to regret later that you can't look yourself in the mirror for. Okay. Imagine and think of your future. You may have got this interview with Diana for Shake Means, but now that it's come out, how easy will you get an interview with Prince Harry? I don't think so. And if you do, you're going to get some venom shot at you. You got it this time, yes. So you got to think of not only what you do now, but how it may affect you in the future. Because a reputation is very, very, very hard to keep and so easy to destroy. New York Minute can destroy it. So it takes time. You got to take time and think what you're doing. And if it's an adverse thing and you think, well, it's no big deal because it's now, it could come to bite you in the end. That's what karma's all about. Just saying. So that's what I think about it. Did that help, Leo? You can get more specific if you want more from me. But it just means to me it's a life lesson. There are people in my industry of puppets that have done some really shady to get to where to get high on the puppet food chain. Okay. And I never did that. I didn't choose to do that. Okay. They're a lot more, they're farther than me. Do you not think that every once in a while I go, I wonder if I had that kind of behavior, if I would be higher up? But then are they feeling good about it? Maybe. I can't. I'm not them. But I know that I'm feeling really good. I tell you, even if things like Muppet Haunted Mansion don't call me, even if I'm not reached out to for whatever reasons, I know I did what I needed to do to look myself in the mirror. And right now, this wonderful thing called social media and the internet. And if I really want to do a show, if I really want to be a part of a puppet show, no offense, guys, but I'll make my own. And you can too. You can choose who you want to work with, be who you want to work with. Every once in a while, you get this fabulous job and there's that one person that's a real, that you got to work with. And that's not fun. And as I get older, more and more about working with people that I love and collaborating with people who are magical, And so if they called, would I not do it? Of course I'd go. Of course I'd be a part of Muppet Haunted Mansion or anything that Brian did. I love the Hensons and I love Brian. But it doesn't mean it's going to be all roses. I will have to figure out. I will have to think about what is their offer? What do they want from me? And can I give it ethically and honestly? Because at this point, if those are on the sacrificial block, I'm not so sure I'm willing to sacrifice them. One of the reasons I have all of you as friends is because I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm not going to BS you. I want to be as honest as possible. And that's really honest. I'd love to be called by the Muppets and go back and being a Muppet. I am on their roster. But sometimes they feel like a nut. Sometimes they don't. And as William Shatner says, it's not a big deal. It really isn't. And you'll see that when you're my age. In 1 month, 64. In exactly 1 month, I will be 64. So if you're in your 20s, or you're in your teens, or you're, in my thinking, a kid, which is anybody under 63, honestly, and you're stressing over this stuff, understands it gets better. Okay, you're stressing because you're young and you want to make a mark. And you deserve to make your mark in history. And please don't give up. And if I can help you, let me know, right? But when I was in my 20s, I really sucked it up and handled a lot of stuff that I didn't really want to do. But I needed to get to a goal, okay? So there are sacrifices that I made. But I had, but now that I'm in my 60s, which is a great place to be, I got to tell you, I like where I am. I'm very happy. I'm striving. I'm still pushing. There are things I want to do. There are things I want to create. There are things I want to make, right? I want to improve. I love learning. So as I mentioned to the tribe today, I'm learning how I'm making my drawing better. I'm taking classes to make my drawing better. Not only my drawing, but I want to make an online class, several of them that I will offer for you to take. And I want to do them in a way that serves you best. If you have suggestions, feel free to message me. I would love to hear them. But I have taken some classes that have been seriously terrible. And I have taken some classes that are absolutely amazing. And I'm taking one now that is so exhausting. It's a drawing class. And this kid, and he's a kid. He's got to be, what, 20? I'm thinking Bryce is. And man, he puts the screws to all of us. We draw 4 pages of research. I was like, 2 is enough. But I drew 4 pages. And then I had to take a break. He's unbelievable. So do I want to be that? Maybe in my advanced courses, I'll be more of that taskmaster type. But I'm kind of feeling like I want everyone to learn that you can draw. And I'd like you to discover your drawing ability. Rather than you trying to be me, I would much rather teach you a class that teaches you puppetry, teaches you sketching, teaches you drawing, teaches you any kind of art. You may want to learn how to build puppets. You may want to do cosplay and build. The way I do it might be kind of ancient, actually, guys, because there are cosplayers out there that blow the doors off of what I used to do. Whew, I see some of your work and I'm just in awe of you. I mean, wow, the work that you do. Just great. Just great. And I love it. I love it. And if I ever want to do a cosplay costume, I'll look up one of you guys on YouTube and I'll find your channel and I'll take your class and I'll learn it because I'm impressed. I'm impressed with a lot of the art that you do. And that's what I'm doing now with painting. I took a class and painted a self-portrait and the teacher was not good. She was good at teaching, but that's not all what a teacher is about. A teacher has to be present so the students feel confident, okay, as they move forward. If you're not present, you might as well just, don't teach it. My opinion, just don't just go do something else because you need to be present, okay, especially when it's online. Like we've been doing it when it's online. Ooh, my tea is almost gone. Oh, this is so good. I love tea. Anyway, so Deanna, who you see has been on these she comments a lot here and she's in my tribe. She suggested this cup and warmer thing so that my tea doesn't get ice cold and she's I thank her every time I have that cup of tea. A little thank you, Deanna. So yeah, so that's how I feel about that, Master Leo. I hope it helped. You watched Bullseye yesterday. Yay. Oh, does Bullseye get you, Tracy? I love Bullseye. Oh my goodness. You guys Toy Story fans? Anyone loves Toy Story like that's your favorite character or whatever? I just thought Bullseye was so precious, part dog, part horse. I've had a horse and many of you out there have had horses and they don't quite act as, I don't think I remember them being quite so extremely sensitive, but I have had a horse that's very much like Bullseye, where he followed me around and he put his head under my arm. And when I was sad, I would sit on a fence and eat watermelon and he would eat watermelon. Oh my gosh, it was just beautiful. But Bullseye is adorable and he's a puppet. Okay. Because one of the things I love about Toy Story 2 is we learn that Woody and Jessie and Bullseye are actually marionettes, and the Protector. They're all marionettes. So you have this kind of reminiscent of that. And of course, I started with marionettes. So I just, yeah. my little heart, over that. So, and I loved Bullseye. Yeah, Toy Story really got to me yesterday. I had not watched them ever, 1, 2, 3, and I had not watched them in a while, and I really was very impressed with them. I didn't like 4, so I didn't watch 4, but there's no fear in those films. They make you feel, and in that 3, oh Lord have mercy. There is a powerful scene. How many of you have seen 3? Y'all seen 3? I mean, spoilers, but that scene, you know what scene I'm talking about. They're all holding hands. They're all this is it. Oh, it's so good. It's just, wow. So, Rhea, Disney, stop trying to play the middle. You'll just get squished. You won't make you will be able to blow the doors off of if you think Disney, if you're listening, no, I say this with all the love in the world. I love this company. I am happy to be a part of this company. But if you think about the films that made a difference in your life, like The Lion King, and people going gaga over The Lion King, not the live action version, even though they went gaga, it was, but the animated version, Scar kills Mufasa. He doesn't wound Mufasa. He doesn't tickle Mufasa. He kills Mufasa. And we know Mufasa isn't coming back. We're delighted when the spirit shows up, but we know we will never see Mufasa again. And it hurts. And we need to feel hurt, happiness, joy, intrigue, fear in the film, because that attaches us to the characters. If you encircle us in bubble wrap and don't let us feel things like in Raya, my personal opinion, the movie falls short of being a true Disney film. And you've got it in you. Okay, I've mentioned older films, but take a look at Soul. Soul makes us feel. Soul really gets to us. Soul really touches us. We've been in the spot that 23's been, where evil things, our own selves, the voices tell us negative things, mean things, and it's us telling us that. We're right there with little 23, who just doesn't seem to be able to do it, and gets all, never let him see you sweat. Tough. Like we all do. That tough mask. So you got it in you, Disney. You can do this. You've got this. Don't be afraid. You're Disney. And Disney does better. You're known for it. So take that baton and run. Just create, because we love it when you do. We really do. And it hurts us when you don't. We don't like to see Disney fall flat. Maybe some do, but I certainly don't. I love it when it just rises up like a phoenix and pow! Look at Disney Plus. Pow! You were the front runner with Disney Plus. Look at all the other stations trying to catch up. Don't tell me you weren't laughed at. You probably were. But that's never stopped you before. It's never stopped Walt, never stopped Roy, never stopped the company. You don't do it like everybody else. So please don't start now. Please don't start now. We love it when you take us to the edge. Teeter is there. We love it. That's why we go to every film, in the hopes that you'll continue to do it. And here's a hint. Stop doing live action unless you have something cutting edge. That being said, Cruella looks really good. But is it? Are you going to disappoint us again? Or are you going to give us something with teeth? Because that's what we're looking for. And Cruella had some real chompers on her. She's a tough one. So I hope you're going to deliver. We're excited to see it because she's one of our favorite villains, isn't she? Okay? Talking to you, Disney. Talking to you. And yay, I did watch Bullseye. Shelby says, one movie that made me emotional was Coco, particularly in the moment when Miguel sings to his great grandmother the song for her. Don Bluth films are also good at this, particularly ones from the 80s. Yeah, like The Secret of Nim, yeah? Yeah, Shelby? My best friend, one of my best friends, Philo Barnhart. Well, let's keep your question up there, or your statement up there. Philo did animated with Don Bluth Studios, and yeah, you're absolutely right. Don Bluth, killer, and I think his company is back. I don't know if he's back, but I heard a rumor, kind of a quiet little whisper, that he might be coming back, and I hope so because it's genius group of animators at the time. You're absolutely right. Coco was hit and miss for me. Okay, Coco, gorgeous. Coco, beautiful. That sequence, the best. That was the best. But I got worried because when Coco's on the when our little boy is on the other side and he's learning about family, and the little skeleton who has no family turns to dust, they cut it with a joke before we can feel it, and that made me upset. You know which one I mean. They should have, the editor should not have cut that so tight. You know, it's not the editor's fault. He's taking instruction. But the point is, or she's taking instruction. The editor is taking instruction. But the point is that they didn't let that sit with us. That was a very important moment in that film. And they hit it with a joke so that it was diffused. And that just makes me crazy. I see that in movies. I really know this genre. And you hit it with a joke too soon and I can't feel it. Upsets me a lot. Yeah, so I love Coco. I'm going to tell you, I love that movie, especially the scene you're talking about, Shelby. It just, and didn't you just go crazy when you realized the connection first before the movie told you the connection? That's another thing. When you know it, you're like, oh, I know it. Oh, that's the cool part too. And then the character in the movie discovers it. That's a real ability. That's a real talent. So the scene in Coco with the little skeleton that you fall in love with, and then he withers away to nothing, and it's a very poignant moment, and they hit it with that stupid joke that diffuses it and makes me angry. Other than that, I thought the movie was amazing. In fact, I really, really loved it was so much beautiful color. It was so brilliant. And apparently, if you watch it in Spanish, it's better, which I haven't done yet, but I should. Is the Spanish version on Disney Plus? Do you know? I would love to watch it in Spanish because everyone who speaks Spanish says the Spanish version is better. So I'm not quite sure why that is, but I need to explore that because maybe that's the case. But thank you. You're absolutely right. 100%. I am with you on that. Good morning, Melissa. How's our girl today? Richard Barnes, if you could have any prop from the Disneyland park to keep in your home forever, what would you choose and why? Prop. Well, my friend Scott, he got the bed. You remember when Peter Pan was more of a blacklight ride, and they had like a cart, like a plywood bed from Peter Pan that you saw Nana, and then they redid the ride. Scott has that bed. He loves that bed. I mean, for a while he slept in it. I don't know if he still sleeps in that bed, but he loved that bed. So I'm kind of thinking that's what you're saying is if you could have a actual prop from there. I have to think on that one because there's a couple that I would like. I would love to have one of the little, and he's not really a prop. He's a character. I was thinking of the little devil from hell, Mr. Toads, because I love going to hell in that. But it's not really a prop. That's a little character. So that doesn't really qualify, I don't think. But prop wise, I gotta think on that a minute or an hour. But there's so many things that I like. So if I was going to get a prop, I something from some item, object, or used in an attraction or ride. I have to think about that. Maybe the magnifying glass from Pirates of the Caribbean or the map that the captain in the captain's bed has. I've sculpted it so much that I feel like I know it. So it would be nice to have the map or the magnifying glass. I've built 2 magnifying glasses because I've done that sculpture a couple of times for people in a one of a kind and in a series for Disney when I worked there. And I wouldn't mind having that magnifying glass or the map that lays across his lap, which probably is stuck there because, water does deteriorate stuff. So it's not like they could lift it off and give it to me. But if they ever change the bedspread, they could cut around it or whatever. But I think those are the 2 things I'd really like to have that I've seen. The magnifying glass, because it actually magnifies. And it took a lot to make, because it's a magnifying glass is heavy. So I don't know if they did a magnifying plexi, because sometimes plexi oxidizes. You didn't think this was going to be the answer, did you? And a lot of times a magnifying glass has to be glass. Glass is heavy. So you have to make sure that the bony wrist and arm can support the magnifying glass so the captain can look through it. But I think that would be what I want. Yeah. I think that's what I would want. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cause I've walked that ride a couple times and I love it. I absolutely love it. And I think that's what it would be. Prop wise, character wise, there's several friends of mine that had a tiki bird, and I thought that was off the chain. I really think I want to build one. But I love the tiki birds from I just really love those. And character wise, I also like the devils from Mr. Toad, because I just they would have to be preserved because they're made out of material that flexes and moves because they bounce, and so yeah, I think that would be yep. I think that's why. Yeah, the little characters in Mr. Toad's, because I love the way that you get to go to hell. Sorry, that's what I love about it. And then the prop, like I said, I've sculpted that Pirates of the Caribbean, not that same one, because there's 2 different versions thanks to Johnny Depp being put in the ride. So I did a huge one for Guillermo del Toro in which I duplicated the magnifying glass by hand. It's like this big. And then I did one for Disneyland. Disneyland offered it during the 18th anniversary of Pirates. And I made 14 of them, and 10 were offered to collectors. And in order to do the ring around the magnifying glass, I used a size 8 wedding ring. True story. Yeah, that was the thing I could find that I wanted to house it with. Yeah. So I think I'd like to have the magnifying glass. Yeah. My husband made the map for Guillermo del Toro's piece, so I wouldn't mind having the map just because that was, put it up on the wall or something. This is actually the, it's fun to say that, right? This is actually the, like Tony Baxter has the hourglass from The Wizard of Oz. I don't know. I think I would just dig flipping that over and flipping that. Die, pretty. You only have so little time. You could just sit there and just do that all day. I just love Tony's hourglass. from Wizard of Oz. I was like, now that's a prop that rocks, right? So yeah, I can name some props and various things that I'd like. So thank you for that question, Richard, because that is a good one. Would you really want to do anything normal? I'll bet not. See, here's the thing. What is normal? What's normal for one person isn't normal for others. For me, I work every second of every minute of every day. It is not normal for me to sit around. It's hard. Yesterday, I couldn't believe how well I embraced not moving, with exception for my treadmill training, right? But I mean, not moving, except for when absolutely necessary. So I made breakfast, I made lunch, I made dinner, I had to move. But in between, we curled up on the bed with some like yummy nashi things, and we watched Toy Story 3 movies in a row. I don't usually do that, but it felt so good yesterday. I can't get over how good it felt. And that's a challenge for me to do. I could feel the tingling in my hands, honestly, of I should maybe grab a pad and sketch, or maybe I should check one of the things I've got to do is create thumbnails for these presentations. I didn't even want to do that because I was so like chill. It's amazing. I know what you mean when you guys chill like this. This is couldn't do it all the time. But what's normal for me is in motion. When someone says to me that I procrastinate, I don't even know what that means. Okay. There are things put on the shelf because other things are being more aggressive. Like the ghosts right now are little tyrants. I'm not even going to lie. They take a lot of my time. There are things I really want to be doing. Thank goodness they came out with the Star Wars cachets so I could put the book off for a year, because I want to release the book with my illustrated cachets at the same time. So that was a legitimate postponement. But I have to tell you, I only have 2 hands. I keep praying for a prehensile tail. It hasn't come yet. So I just have to realize slowing down is all right. Taking a moment for myself, maybe reading a book, which seriously, I can't read cover to cover. No. I can't do it. I have to read a little bit in the morning when I wake up and read a little bit at night before I go to bed. Sitting under a tree, I admire you if you can sit under a tree with, something beautiful to drink and the birds are chirping and the sun is shining and you're reading. Oh, gosh. It's just not in my wheelhouse. I have to be moving. And people say you got to move, My Fitbit says, screw it. I'm not following you. So I don't have a Fitbit anymore. But it doesn't say move. It says stop, you crazy woman. But yeah, that's you talk about what's normal for me, I do all the time, Bob, but you're right. I don't know what normal is though. But let's say we're in high school. Do many of you feel that way about high school? Don't take me back there. I don't believe in reincarnation because I don't want to go back to junior high. Have you ever heard that? So in high school, what I thought was normal was you were a cheerleader and then you became homecoming queen, which if that's what Bob is saying, but never, ever, ever wanted to be a cheerleader. Oh, no. If you're a cheerleader, my sister was a cheerleader and I thought I went to every game and watched you and cheered you. But me, oh, barf. I'm sorry, no. And then homecoming queen. Yeah. I was a misfit of science and I loved being with other misfits, geeks and crazy people. That was my wheelhouse, is being with all the ones that people thought, they looked at us and thought, oh, what a shame. Those guys are pretty pathetic. But the secret was we weren't. We were building, we were creating, we were designing weird stuff. Nobody got us. I love that zone. So if normal was to be a cheerleader, captain of the football team, homecoming queen and king, I couldn't go to a prom under normal conditions where, you know how people go to a prom and then they kind of dance like this? The guy I went with, we took waltzing lessons for a month. And we did the polka and the waltz at my prom. True story. He was not going to dance like this. He just wasn't. He wouldn't have it. He was a white guy, and I guess he didn't want to dance like a white person. No offense, white people. Half of me had to learn how the black other half learned, okay? But the reality is this. He wanted to do it right. And I've been surrounded by people like that all my life. People that are different. Vive la différence. And I love different. So, Bob, if that's what you meant, you're right. It wasn't my thing. Being an office worker. Oh, that's what my nightmares were made of. I went to visit my sister, and for a while, she worked in an office, and she had the briefcase, and she had the 3-piece suit, and she looked amazing in the outfit, hair back in a bun. And I saw her, and I went, ah! And I said, oh, wait a minute, I'm awake. And she said, what? I said, oh, I thought I was dreaming that I was an office worker. What a nightmare. Because for me, that was a nightmare. Yeah. And again, it's not judging you if you're an office worker. It's just that's how really odd I was. It's seriously odd. My hair stuck out like this. You had to be odd. You know, many times people thought you were a tree and they wanted to pet you more than a human being. If I didn't keep moving, people thought I might be something seriously. So being different is always special. I gravitate to the oddballs because I am. So thank you for that, Bob. Thank you. Joseph says, looking forward to your Star Wars book. Thanks again for the Dolly Parton story last week. I found a clip on YouTube. What? Oh my gosh, tag me on it. Joseph? Joseph, you are good, man. I would love to see that. It's been a while. Somebody found a clip. Was it you, Joseph? I'm not sure. Somebody found a clip of my United Air Express commercial where I got my SAG card. And it's now in my playlist. So if you're on YouTube and you want to see the United Air Express commercial, go into, I think it's appearances or films or whatever. And it might be under commercials. And take a look at it. It's the one where I laced the puppet eye mechanism in my teeth and did United by whipping my head back, opening the eyes with my mouth, and puppeteering like this, and got my Screen Actors Guild card. You've heard it, maybe. They ask actors, how'd you get your SAG card? Most of the time they say, I did a pilot back in the day. But me is, yeah, I did the weird one. Yeah, I have a weird one. And it's a great, lovely story. So thank you for that, Joseph. And I thank you for telling me about that clip. Please tag me on it. Tracy said, did you ever get to visit the Golden Oak Ranch, a.k.a. the Triple R Ranch? Isn't that, where is that? Is that the one that's in that private Disney area where we built Country Bear Hall? Is that what? I'm trying to remember if that's what it was called. I think that's what it's called. Where they shot Spin and Marty. Let me know, Tracy. Just a little more information because I think we're talking about the same thing, but I'm not sure. And then I'll answer it better. I will. Joseph says, I've been in Star Wars mode since May the 4th. I think the only original version of Star Wars is a video cassette only. I don't believe it ever was released on DVD or Blu-ray. It is. You are correct. The original has never been released on DVD or Blu-ray. I never bought it on VHS because, yeah, I don't think I bought it on VHS. I bought it on Laserdisc was the first time I bought it because I was seeing it at the movies a lot. So we're friends in Star Wars. Yeah. If you want to see that, I mean, you may have it. You may have the Laserdisc, Joe, and Joseph, and you may have the CDs in the box set. You know, they had all the stuff like that. You may have all that stuff, and I may be preaching the choir here, but yeah, yes, wow, ooh, absolutely. it's tough to get it because George, it's a thorn in George's side. He really he didn't like it, so he wanted to erase it, and so he did. And unfortunately, I tried to explain why he shouldn't, and oh well, his movie, right? It's his movie, and mine too. Morning, hi Carla. Tim Gillette is in the house. Let's see. There you are. There you are, Tim. Hey, on a lunch break and wanted to say hi. Hi. And I apologize for not seeing you on Wednesday. Wednesday was a tough day, Tim, and it's going to be several tough days. I know you got something going on. Is it today? I might be able to jump on that. I'm not sure. But I know that's strictly work. But forgive me, guys, for just doing a little Tim hello. People are worried about me. In fact, my friend Luana, I've got to email her. She was worried because she hadn't seen me. But I took that hit, and it knocked me flat. And I am recovering. And the thing about the masterminds with Tim that I'm in is I don't really necessarily feel it's appropriate for a little bit for us to talk about the pain, but this was a lot of pain. When I got hit with this, Tim, I could not, there was no getting out of it. Let me just say that. I took a real hit. Yeah. So I'm better now. Wednesday evening, Thursday morning, yesterday morning, I got much better. But yeah, I got hamstringed. I got kicked to the curb and knocked to the floor and punched a lot. And it just, metaphorically speaking, didn't actually happen that way, but that's what it felt like. So I'm better. Thank you for reaching out to me. Sorry I didn't call you. Just didn't feel like talking to anybody. And even I have said to you all, phone a friend when you get this bad. Sometimes you got to wait till you get to the phone a friend level, which I was not at. I did not want to talk to anybody. So, and that doesn't usually happen with me. But this time it did. And you have to work through it. You just got to keep going. Melissa, you are good. Melissa says Joe should change his name to Joe Punny because he's funny. Vodka is clear. Oh, girl, I love the way you think. You're funny, Melissa. I don't think that'll pass. Made me laugh though. Carla said I have not attempted a corset. It's real work. If you want me to on the next AMA, post it in here, Carla, and just remind me and tell me you'd like to see mine, because I will show you not only the over but the under. Very involved. And this guy was a corset maker. He made corsets for custom corsets for everybody. And I needed a custom corset because I wasn't a curvy lady. Now, when I put the Catwoman outfit on one more time after losing some weight on Herbalife. And what basically it was that I used to say I lost my weight, found my curves, because all of a sudden I had this curvy body. So when I wore it for a Herbalife convention, yeah, we do have those, Halloween party, it shocked the out of everybody. And I was super curvy. The corset didn't have to work as hard because all of a sudden I think I was like, before I found my curves, it was after I was 50 years old that I lost the weight of 52. I've gained a little bit of it back. And I'm not apologizing because I actually like that I can fit and stuff. But when I put it on, I had this shape that was just like, wow, what happened? Because I had like hips. I was like, woo! It was amazing. The corset did not have to work. But at the time, I needed a real corset maker to make it because it had to take in a waist that was pretty much a tube. I was totally tubular, man. So sometimes you just never know. Body structure is very interesting. Long time no see. Hello, Carol Ann Wagner. How are you? Darn this work getting in the way of my Terri time. I have a meeting, but I'll be back to listen to the rest. Have a great week. And you too, Angie. Mwah. Angie is such a love. She never misses a broadcast. She's such a sweetie. It's nice when you talk about your husband and feel how much you love him, trying to say this on his behalf. Yeah. Well, yeah. Seriously, guys, the love story, I don't remember if I went into detail here because sometimes my husband watches my broadcasts and he turns red because women love to talk about the joy of finding that soulmate. Okay. We love talking about it. I'm not so sure all men do, but I love telling the love story of my husband. It was work. It was not work to love, but work getting to him, something I thought would never happen. So when it did happen, and we've been married for almost 16 years, something like that. Time flies when you're having fun, so you don't really know. Have to count on fingers and toes. But every day is a joyful day. Seeing him just he's the best, for me. He's the best for me, and I love it, and I'm grateful to God every day. I look at him and say, Lord, I don't know what I did to deserve him, but please don't let me stop doing it. So that in a nutshell is what I say all the time. And some people, I remember my sister got upset because she said his name is, and this is his name, and why do you keep saying your husband? And I said to her, because I'm the only one who can. I'm his wife, and he's my husband. No one else can say that. And I am honored, and it's a privilege to be able to call him my husband. So, yeah, it's marriage is work. It's heaven when it's with the right person. It can be absolute Hades if it's with the wrong one. So don't rush into it. Don't rush. Really make sure you guys are the soulmates. Take your time. Get to know each other's brains. Okay? The physical changes. So, but I could talk about him all day. And then he would really not want to watch that broadcast and scold me because he feels funny when I do that. So, yeah. I got to see Julie and Christopher in person saying, oh, isn't that a beautiful moment, Tracy? Rearranged for her limited alto voice. I was in tears. Oh, I would be too. Oh, I bet you that was beautiful. That sounds like a goosebump moment, was it? Yeah. Oof. I love Sound of Music. I love it. Long movie. In the days when they could really do long movies, like remember Titanic? Long movie. People just didn't seem to feel it. And it's the same with the time of Sound of Music. They'd have an intermission, but I think it was the first movie I saw where they did stuff after the marriage, like people get married and then that's the end, roll credits. Cinderella, happy ever after. And this one took it was like the middle of the movie, wasn't it? So Sound of Music is one of those epic films that's just wonderful to experience because it's one of the few that happens. The wedding is in the middle. So cool. So beautiful. Thank you for sharing that because I'm envious. I think that I would have loved to have heard that. And I would have cried the whole thing, just like you were saying. Yeah, me in tears too. I agree. Thank you for sharing that, Tracy. There we go. Best I can. If it doesn't matter in 10 minutes, it doesn't matter, says Melissa. Sometimes it does matter in 10 minutes, though. Do you know what I mean? So, and that's another age thing. Sometimes it takes your whole life. It takes I remember when I thought I had been fired from the Country Bears and it took months. And I kept asking myself, why do I care? Why, it's an attraction movie. But it really hit me back then. And then for Christmas to not get only one role, to be chosen for one role, but two. Oh, I thought that was the best Christmas present ever. To be Big Al and Trixie. I remember talking to my friend and DBH. And DB said, I would have never told you were fired if I knew they were just going to turn around and rehire you. But that's the way it is. You go through those lows and you're like, oh man, why do we even care? It doesn't matter, but it did. It lasted a while. I was envious of my friends on the Country Bears. And then when I got to do the Country Bears, I did the happy dance for days. I tried to talk the Disney executive or Disney contract person to send me over the contract so I could sign it before they changed their mind, because it's legal and binding once I sign it. So I was like, can I come and get it? Can I come and sign it now? I love doing the Country Bears. It was such a fun movie to do. So sometimes it can go longer depending on, now I don't know if things are different now that I'm in my 60s. They just are. They just are. They are. They are. Grimgrinny says, you have brought back a memory I had forgotten. When I was little, I would hang a blanket over the rod in my closet and do a puppet show with my Bert and Ernie puppets and my stuffed animals. Tracy, a puppeteer in the making. Me, it was Lamb Chop. Fun, huh? And did people watch? Did you do them for family? My family had no choice. I've written another script. Sit down, sit down, sit down. So she's like, okay, I got this show, and now I'm going to show it to you. Okay, sit down, sit down, sit down. I got it ready. Okay, here we go. Okay, you ready? Shh. Okay, here you go. Yeah. So thank you, Deanna. I love you too. What a sweet thing to say. Love Toy Story. My Honda CRV's nickname is Buzz Lightyear because when I first got him, the new plate started with BZL. Oh, cool. Buzz is my guy. Sharon, I am so glad to hear that. Cheryl. Did I say Sharon? I was trying to do Cheryl Sawyer and it all came out as Sharon. Cheryl, I am so glad to hear that. I'm going to write that down. Cheryl Sawyer likes Buzz Lightyear. I'll tell you what made, I'm just writing this down. Sure, you never know when this information can come in handy for me and you. But I'd completely forgotten Latin Buzz. And that sent me over the moon. I just, mi boy, mi amiga, mi amigos, mi amigos, mi amigos. Oh, and the dance. I just love him as Latin Buzz. That was really very, very cool. Very, very cool. It was just so good. It reminds me of Puss in Boots in Shrek, when Puss in Boots, I forget what the question is, but the answer is, for you, I could be. The one time I really love Antonio Banderas is as Puss in Boots. So Buzz is Latin Buzz and Antonio Banderas as Puss in Boots. Mwah! Choice, right? Yeah. My niece and nephew loved Coco. They hugged my parents right after watching it. Absolutely, Bonnie. I got to tell you, Coco was a brilliant film. Don't get me wrong. It really was. It was a monumental film too. It was one of those timely films, a film that was needed to be made. So, like I said, there's that one section where I wish they had not tightened it so tight, because you need to be able to feel those things. But what a great film, just a great film. And the music, was so lovely. And the characters were so creative. Yeah, no, I thought fantastic, just fantastic. I'm with you on that. And so many of my friends would tell me that the Spanish version, like you've seen Bob and Rose Dean right here. They've been friends with me. They've been my friends for years. I mean, we go way back. And Bob and Rose, the first thing they did was reach out to me and tell me I got to see this movie. And that's the thing, we do the Foster Farms commercials Foster Farms chicken commercials, we haven't done them in a while for obvious reasons, but the Foster Farms chicken commercials for the longest times, those of you who are on the West Coast and know what I'm talking about, they were English written commercials and then dubbed in Spanish. And it was really not the best way to do it, because in 1998, we had a Latino commercial agency and script writing team write with the Spanish and Latino sense of humor, which is way off the charts. I mean, the one thing about the Spanish speaking culture is they love to party and they love to laugh. They love to laugh, and they have such great humor. So once we had the Latin agencies writing the scripts for our Latin commercials, our Spanish-speaking Foster Farms chicken commercials, way up, because they were much funnier and they addressed the culture. And this is the beauty of so many different cultures, as you learn about the culture you're trying to reach out to and love them. I mean, we did a commercial, you can see it on YouTube in the playlist under Foster Farms. We did one with a very famous mariachi band. And I remember reaching out to a lot of my friends and saying, who is this band? Because I wanted to treat them respectfully when they were on the set and we were shooting with them. And we tell them to shut up as chickens. We go, cállate. And they go, oh. They're just lovely people. They were so funny. Very, 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 very famous band. Huge they are. Like the Stones, okay? Like the Rolling Stones of mariachi bands. Huge guys. And I knew nothing about them. So I reached out to all of my Spanish-speaking friends and said, tell me who these guys are so I can treat them properly. They were just so adorable. But if you get to see that Foster Farms commercial, the music is beautiful. It's so fun. It's so cute. And it's so special. And getting to know them. And then they were such good sports, just really good sports about, two chickens in the front of the car telling them to shut up. It's rude in any way, right? So Coco, absolutely. Which is why I said I need to hear it in Spanish, Bonnie, because I hear that in Spanish it's so much more in the language that it was meant for, which makes sense. Okay. I cannot watch a Miyazaki film dubbed in English. I hate them dubbed in English. I can't stand them dubbed in English. I have to hear the Japanese. That's the way Miyazaki designed it. That's the way I want to hear it. And in some cases with the English dubbing, they change the characters and they erase characters and they change the gender of characters. Have you noticed that? Oh, that makes me so upset. So I just don't. I just go straight to Japanese and read it. So I would really love to hear it and read it in Spanish, because I hear it's better. It's better. Everybody told me better. I must say that I puzzled how, says Connie. Or that puzzled Connie. Tell me what you mean. I would never have made it in the office. I like to talk too much. It was hard to sit still. Yeah, Deanna, it is. It is. And some people really nail the office. Okay. I have an accountant who's a maestro. She's a master of numbers, and she goes in the office and she just changes their lives. She's like Merlin, she's like the accountant Merlin. She just waves her arms and the business is better. She is the master of numbers, the artist of the artist. She's in art, and her palette and her tools are pens and pencils and computer and spreadsheets, and her magic is in how she works with numbers. I've never seen anyone masterful. She creates masterpieces, and she changes lives. And she's a true artist. An artist is when you're passionate about what you do. And whew, she's a rock star. I could not do what she does, and so thank God she's my accountant too. I love having the masters who are at it. So she's something else. So I agree. Yes, Spin and Marty. Yes, Country Bears was shot there. Okay, so the Golden Oaks Ranch, Country Bears was shot there, and that's where you can find Country Bear Hall. So when I did the Country Bears, I found out that this was a place that you could not get to unless you were shooting a film on it. I don't know, Tracy, if that's the same now, but back in the day, the only way you could get on that ranch to walk its property and see those beautiful sets and bridges and so on and so forth is to be in the movie. So when I did Country Bears, when I was a part of the Country Bears movie, Disney, Jim Henson, with Disney and Jim Henson Studios, etc., etc., the director said, I overheard the director in one of our rehearsals say that he was getting very frustrated because we needed a lot of extras for a couple of scenes in the movie. You may remember there was the bar scene where we had a lot of bar attendees. And then we also had the final scene where the Bears play at Country Bear Hall and a few others. But we needed these people, and the extras didn't treat it with the respect that they should have. You know, people who are extras, sometimes they're extras because they're hoping to get to be stars, but it's all in your behaviors. You need to behave as ethically as an extra as you do as a lead, because you are vitally important to the overall look and feel of a film. But these guys were smoking grass and doing all kinds of things they shouldn't have been doing, and they weren't showing up, all kinds of stuff. So the director, Peter Hastings, was saying, you know, I really wish I could get some extras that, you know, were vested just in it. I said, hey, let me reach out to my collector followers, because you all were out there. I had a lot of them. I had a lot of you guys. I still do, and I'm happy to have y'all as part of the group. My YouTube channel just shows a few hundred, but every one of them is USDA choice. So that's what we're looking for, is quality, not quantity. I just want good quality people on the YouTube channel and good quality people in the tribe. You know, it's good, you know, good, strong, ethical, loving, giving people. That's what I want. So I told him, and I put out emails. I sent emails. I wrote to the Once Upon a Classic people. I wrote to the NFFC at the time, which is now the Disney NFL Club. I wrote to them. I wrote to anybody and everybody I could reach out to and saying, do you want to be an extra on the Country Bears? Bonus, you get to be on this ranch. And people went, blah! And if you slow down the last part of the DVD of the Country Bears, you will see a lot of your friends. Yeah, a lot of, if you've pin collected with people, and if you're with Disney-AMA, you have you're going to see a lot of people you know. Just move it slow, because so many people came out to be a part of the Country Bears, and Peter just loved every single one of you. You all got to walk the bridges, Spin and Marty. You all got to be in the housing tent, and the assistant director who was in charge of making sure all the extras stayed in one place just fell in love with you guys. And when I was getting ready to shoot Big Al, that's one of the characters I play. When I was programming the head, I was off into another tent away from everybody. Well, with the other puppeteers. But the AD came to me and he said, I love those, Terri, you're responsible for getting those Disney people. And I said, yeah, they're my friends and fans. And he said, I love them. He said, I absolutely love them. They are so generous. They are so kind. They just want to help. They are so excited to be there. He just had nothing but good things to say about y'all, right? Of course. I was letting them know what I know, right? But what he said was so cute about all of you is that he said, you need to fill out this voucher. And that is because we need to know where to pay you. And he said, most of your people said, we get paid. And he found that very cute. Later, I had to meet with everyone and say, look, don't save that check that has Mickey on it. take a color copy of it and cash the check. Otherwise, payroll is going to go bonkers because you guys aren't cashing the check. So take a picture of it and then cash that check. Okay, please don't keep the actual check. Keep a copy of the actual check so you don't make payroll go nuts. And everybody, but that's what they said. They said you guys were the best. So that's why I did it, was in order for you to get to go to the Golden Oaks. I thought this was great. And what do you do for them is treat it with respect, as you always do. And I love you for it. So Tracy, there's my answer. Wish you had been there. Sweet 16. Oh, you're so cute. Michael says, it's funny how on the original Star Wars, it's clearly Han who shot Greedo, yet people still have the argument Greedo shot first. Poor naive people. Well, you know what I love about that, Michael? Well, maybe I should save it for the book. Yeah. Okay, well. I love that scene. I love that scene. I love it. I love it. Yeah, I agree. Greedo kind of is, but Han was always neutral. He wasn't necessarily always good. He was a smuggler after all. He did some smuggling. He did all kinds of stuff. So I mean, that's what we love about Han Solo is, he had edge. And so did, he was an edgy character. My husband and I had this discussion. Being a lead, it can be boring. It's a lot of work to be a lead in a film. Many people think they want it because they're on camera all the time, but it takes real work to do that. You don't get to play and have fun if you're the lead in every scene. You have to work. You have to study. You're studying, you're working, you're studying, you're working, right? But those side characters get to have more fun. They get to be edgier. Like Luke Skywalker is not the most interesting character, okay? Mark Hamill has the great ability to look clueless. For most of the movie. I mean, that's the beauty of him. Okay? He sees the princess. The Wookiee. Han Solo. Occasionally he'll go. But honestly, he has got one of the more not interesting characters. Okay? But you've got Darth Vader. You've got Han Solo, Chewbacca the Wookiee, the robots, even the princess is more interesting than Luke Skywalker when you think about what would you like to be if you're going to play the characters, right? But he did what was needed for the film. Mark Hamill, don't get me wrong. Mark Hamill in Star Wars was a kick. He was good because he had exactly what was needed for that role, that young, clueless boy. We needed that in that movie. So yeah, but it allows all the other characters to be the seasoning in the basic soup. Truth be told, honestly, even in The Mandalorian, would you like to be the Mandalorian? Really? If you were going to pick a character? Or would you prefer to be one of those characters around the Mandalorian? There are some seriously cool characters. Up to you. If the Mandalorian is what you want to play, good for you. But for me, this is one of the reasons I want to be a character actress, because you could just really have a little more freedom to play, and then you have their off time because you're not on camera all the time. Just saying. This was one of the conversations we had. So, we learned that Han is a stinker. They need a ship. They're Obi-Wan and Luke go to a shady bar to find a shady character that they can sort of trust to get them where they need to go. And that shady character is Han. So are we really surprised he shoots first? I got to tell you, I've seen the movie I've seen it. But at the time, I was known for seeing it 83 times. So 81, 83, who stopped counting. But the point is that I watched this over and over and over again. And he was a shady character. He's a tough character, tough cookie. a real rough bar. So yeah, no surprise that he shot first. No surprise, Michael. I know people love Han, so they want to think no. That's what we love about Han, is we don't know which way that boy is going to swing, do we? Or we didn't back in those days. If it goes longer than 10 minutes, then it does matter. If someone cuts you off on the freeway, you yell and scream, says Melissa, at them, and in 10 minutes, you don't even remember it happens. That's when it doesn't matter. Yeah, well, we don't want to do that much anymore, do we? Because they could have guns. Just let them cut you off and go. You obviously had to get there earlier than I did. And I really would appreciate it if you would relearn how to use your blinkers. I'm really thinking of doing a diagram of where they usually are on a car, because that will get you. But you're right, Melissa. I see what you're saying. Absolutely right. Yes, you are. But you got to be careful, because nowadays people are nuts. I remember we wanted to get, this is probably about 3 months ago, my husband wanted to go get a Starbucks coffee. We don't do that much anymore. He makes his own. But we were going to get a Starbucks coffee, and it's weird. Where we were was a weird drive-through. I just won't go to ones where weird drive-throughs are. And someone just pulled in and cut us off. We have a huge line that we have to do a break because people got to drive to get to the other stores. It's really a dumb design. And people will pull in and just cut you off. And my husband says I should get out and go talk to him. I said, no, you don't. No, you do not. Because we don't know what's inside that car. We don't know if there's crazy inside that car. And we've seen it on the news, haven't we? We've seen a lot of crazy. So protect thyself. Yeah, protect thyself. Foster Farm Commercials is with the band Los... See, I knew she would know this. I knew she would know this. Do you say Tucanes de Tijuana, not mariachi? But don't they play a well, thank you for correcting me. But I thought I remembered them all having like mariachi guitars. Of course, it's been a while. I should watch that commercial over. Thank you for correcting me, sweetheart. See, this is what I'm talking about. Because I really thought they were a mariachi band, but I was wrong. Well, how about that? I stand corrected. Thank you for fixing that for me. So it's what she said. Read this, because my pronunciation, de Tijuana, okay? That's about as far as I can get. For now, anyway. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you so much for correcting me. You guys all have my back. You guys make sure it's good. Thank you for that. Deanna says, is it windy? It's crazy windy where she is. Let me look. Not so far. But we get it after 2 p.m. And yesterday we had another fire. Luckily, they got it quickly. But that's when it's bad as you go, no, please, Lord, no. But it's not crazy like Arizona right now, but it could be later. Thank you for asking me, because I had to look out my windows. Tracy said, no one ever saw my puppet shows except my cats. I am way too shy. What did the cats think? Did your cat stay and enjoy it? Cats have opinions. Tell me I'm wrong. Ask Deanna. Okay? Cats have opinions. And then was it... who was it yesterday on the Zoom call? Well, anyway, cats have opinions. They have strong opinions. So let me know what your cats thought, Tracy. Melissa says, it's been windy in the desert for a week. I'm by the beach right now, and it's quite breezy. Ooh, you're by the beach right now. That's what I said to my husband. I said, for my birthday, I'd like to get away and just stare at the beach. That's the one time I can stare, is at the ocean. This time, I think it might be nice to take paints and do a painting. I don't know if my husband would appreciate that. Me, a lot of times you want to be on your own when you're doing such a thing, because you can be so focused in that zone that, you're not together unless he would do a painting. Wouldn't that be fun? But I couldn't. Man. So I'll maybe have to leave the painting at home, One time maybe I'll go on my own and do that. That's what I did when I built Lego the last year, when I did that special acting that performance gig that I had to do last year in November, I guess it was. I took Totoro Lego and did that, and that was fun because we had to stay in a box because of the pandemic. So what else are you going to do? My friend painted, but I hadn't started painting yet. I didn't get my paints till Christmas. So now, if I do that again, maybe I'll pack my paints like he did. He drove. He said it's so much easier if you drive and pack your paint than if you have to fly and pack your paint. And he's spot on with that. He's spot on. So I would have to pick a subject where maybe there was less colors. I forget what it's called, but I'm getting ready to take another class where you only have how many tubes? Like 6 tubes of paint or something, and you mix all the colors with those tubes. I think it's like six tubes. So I'm going to learn that palette as soon as I finish this painting. And maybe that's what I do, is I just take limited things and work with a limited palette, doing limited paintings of things around me, and see how that is. Sometimes when you confine yourself to stuff like that, instead of all the colors in the world, you can do some killer things. So maybe that. Yeah, maybe that. Michael Joseph, hello, my friend. Good to see you. Yes, animals do have opinions. I don't remember. They probably licked themselves and went to sleep or walked out. Oh, cats. Cats are such cats, aren't they, Tracy? But good for you for doing your shows. Because, yeah, it's so fun just to do stuff like that. Yeah, talk to yourself with a puppet. I used to talk to my puppet all the time when I was being bullied. My dad wondered if I was on the phone, except for I didn't have a phone. So he walked in and said, maybe I snuck a friend in, and then he saw me talking to myself, and it was a puppet on my hand. He peeked through a crack in the door. He didn't want to disturb me because he was afraid to get self-conscious. I wish I could say I was shy. Yeah, no. But I'm glad you did it all the same. I'm really glad you did it. Well, guys, we're at 2 hour and 32 mark. I've looked at all the questions, and it's time for me to bid you all adieu. Have a lovely weekend. Thank you for all your questions here, all your comments. Thank you for your participation. The joy and love you always give me always makes me feel extra special. Next Friday, I will be here for an AMA. Absolutely. The only thing in question is Memorial Day, which I will continue to let you know that I won't be a part of doing that. Tracy says she's been playing fetch with her cat. Do you see it there? Been with you today. My cat was bringing his ball to me and played fetch with him. I think it's great when a cat plays fetch. Most of my cats said, you're going to get that, right? I don't have any cats now. I have a dog, and she does the same thing. Well, no, she will play fetch for a little bit, but it's not necessarily a ball. She likes it to be a toy she can worry. That many trainers tell you not to do that with your dog, but she's about the size of a peanut, and it makes her very happy. So let me just say, I sort of ignored my trainer. And enjoy your weekend, all, says Deanna. And I couldn't have said it better myself. Do something nice for someone. It'll make you feel so much better. Hugs and kisses. I love you guys so much. And Deanna says she too had a fetching cat. Well, wonders never cease. Be well, be safe. See you on Monday. Have a lovely weekend. I'm doing the chalk walk tomorrow. If you want to watch, check it out. Okay, you won't get to watch me walk, but you know what I mean. It's virtual. Yeah, it's virtual. See you later.